we had a little bit of an announcement this week because we announced the legendary server. So with me here to answer some of the questions about what it is RedPanda. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right. And for those who don't know, what's your role with SSG here?
I am the associate product manager.
Talk to the mic.
I'm the associate product manager, so I work with you obviously and Amanda on a lot of the marketing stuff, basically of everything marketing.
Yep. He's the person who is closest to any Nerf darts that might come from my desk.
That is entirely true.
Yeah.
I've been blindsided.
So I think you guys need to supply our friend Cordovan with more Nerf darts, slightly more colorful or painful or loud ones.
I might have driven a remote control car into his cubicle yesterday.
Yes, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But it didn't have a camera attached yet.
No, it did not. No.
Yeah.
Also with me here is Tybur. How you doing, Tybur?
I'm good, thanks.
You wear many hats. Recently, you were working for QA, and you have moved over to the content development side.
The systems development.
Yep. So, tell me a little bit about what you did for Update 23, if we can say.
Oh, well, while everybody else was working on Update 23, I was actually spending quite a bit of time working on the Legendary server.
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
You were working on what server was that again?
The Legendary server.
And that is why you are here today, because we are
is.
going to be getting into some of your questions. Now, if you just want a general overview of, okay, what's the Legendary server thing? LOTRO.com/legendary. LOTRO.com/legendary. And I'm going to put that into Twitch, Book, Tube chat as well. For those of you who would like to play the home game. But we also know that this is a fairly general announcement, you know, is given for wide, say, press and media site and social site. Just kind of, there's our big announcement, right? But you all are long-term Lord of the Rings Online players and probably have some specific questions that really make sense to answer in a rapid-fire fashion like this. So we are going to do our best. I cannot promise that every answer I give today will be correct.
And neither can I.
Or me.
Yep.
But we are going to do our best to get through the more complicated list of questions. And let me actually call up that list right now. You would think I might have done that before we went live, but you would be
I wrote
wrong.
down some notes from that list.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
See, now you are the most prepared then.
I'm not the weakest link, as you would say. Oh.
Do we say that here?
Oh, no. That's the
No.
wrong game show. Darn, we're not in a game show. Oh.
All right. Now that I have it.
If we were, it would be the Great British Bake Off.
Oh,
It
yes.
sure would. I love that
Yes.
show. That show is fantastic. I have been watching. Oh, yes. Absolutely. I
love that
fully
show.
support the idea of us doing that. Plus, I've actually had this long time thing where we need to have a Lembas bread bake-off.
Ooh.
Right?
Among
Ooh,
the
yes.
LOTRO
Yes.
team.
Yes.
I think we also need a Hobbit picnic Bake Off.
I volunteer to be judge.
Yeah. It's essentially a hardtack sort of like substance, from what I understand, and so.
But it has to taste amazing.
That's true.
I just volunteer to be a judge.
All right. So for the Legendary server, what exactly is it that we are announcing here? Let me recall it up so I get the larger size text. We're excited to announce a new way to experience the Lord of the Rings Online Legendary Worlds. Relive the tales of Middle-earth chapter by chapter, visiting iconic locations and adventuring with new friends or reconnecting with old ones on the path of the Fellowship of the Ring. Join us this fall in a legendary world and make a fresh start with a brand new character. See Tolkien's bustling realm anew, whether for your first or 50th time. Initially, the legendary world will begin at the very start of the game, yep, the very start of the game, and run through Angmar, then open new regions and levels over time. Basically, relive the legend where everyone is here and the story is now. And we have a FAQ, and again, that is lotro.com/legendary. We do have French and German translation of that available as well. So what the heck is the difference between a legendary server and a standard server? On a standard server, players can reach the max level cap with no restrictions. On the legendary server, you start out with only the initial level 50 and below content, with a focus on the Shadows of Angmar. Gradually, the level cap and story content unlocks over time. Do you need a subscription? Yes. Either be a lifetime VIP subscriber from back in the day, or if you are a current VIP subscriber, you can access the legendary server. Can you transfer characters onto and off of it? No. And that's all we need to say about that at this point. Well, maybe in the future we'll have to take a look at it, but there are no plans to transfer characters from one world to the next at this time. I'm right about that, right?
You are right.
Yeah.
You're not allowed transfers.
Yeah.
If we have more than one legendary world, then that opens at the same time, then you would be able to transfer back and forth between those.
You can cross the streams there.
Okay.
So if we
Awesome.
have 2 servers or 3 servers to support all the people who want to do legendary LOTRO, then
Yep. I'm actually going to get rid of that box. That was not very useful. You can follow along at LOTRO.com Legendary if you want to. So yes, you do need to be VIP. Will you be able to access the LOTRO store? Yes, but some items may not be available. Will there be trait trees? Yes. Can I play a Runekeeper, Warden, or Bjorning? Yes. Can you be a High Elf? Yes. What about anniversary gifts? Yes, you will still get your anniversary gifts. Some level-restricted pre-order items, like the Ari of the Valar, will not be available until the legendary world catches up to it, essentially. Will I be able to keep playing on my non-legendary server? Yes. Oh my god, are we abandoning the non-legendary worlds?
No.
No, we have no intention of adjusting our frequent, regular, and active development of the non-legendary game worlds. Basically, we're going to keep doing all the stuff that you've seen us do with the non-legendary worlds here. No change of plans in regards to that. What about all that awesome shared account stuff I have on that world? Sorry, you can't transfer it to the legendary server. Will there be PVMP? No, not at launch. If and when we have more to announce there, we will announce it, but at this time, there will not be any PVMP on the legendary server. Basically, all the stuff you bought, it counts.
Yep. For the account-wide stuff, yeah.
Yep. It's going to be part of the regular game client, so you don't need to download a separate game client.
that is correct.
That's correct.
Can you access all of the LOTRO world and content? Eventually, yes, but not at launch, as we focus on the Shadows of Angmar story. As someone who has worked at it, what does that actually manifest as? How does that work when you try to kind of like go to an area that you've already been?
Well, we've actually done quite a bit of work to make it so that hopefully you can't get to an area that you're not supposed to be in. So you're allowed to be in all of the level 50 zones up through a region. So 4 Chel is allowed, or 4 Kel, I'm not sure how we pronounce it.
Yeah. Evendim as well, I think.
Evendim
Some
is
people
allowed.
asked about that.
But you cannot get into the Mines of Moria. You can finish all the way up through the end of Volume 1, and then the Holland's Gate instance you cannot do. As part of that, you cannot take a Stable Master for Mithril or use the Writ of Special Passage to bypass and get to a higher level zone. So you can't take a Stable Master or the Stable Master Collection to any of the higher level zones. And if you somehow manage to sneak your way into a higher level area, so somehow you end up in Gondor, you'll have about 5 seconds to get yourself back out of there before the game will teleport you back to your newbie starter area. So Archit or Erdluin. Yeah.
And will any of that gating method find its way to the world server? Sons of Numenor asks. I think that should be basically toggled off where applicable, right?
So we have had a few bugs that went live in the last update or two where we had a few instance areas that accidentally got included.
Is that the Lonelands thing?
No,
Yeah. No?
no, that was different. Totally different bug. This was the, there was a bingo Bothan instance and there was an epic book instance, both of which were accidentally tagged as don't let players ever go here.
Okay.
As part of this greater, hey, this area is only allowed for when the level cap reaches 75, but we have some zones that we marked as, hey, players should never be here, like our test areas. And some places got accidentally tagged incorrectly, and we've been fixing that as we find it.
Will Moria be dark like it was when it does release? Julie from Facebook asks. The content as it's presented to you will be as it is on the live game
Correct.
worlds.
That is
Yeah.
correct. So it will look as it does on live, but our world team has been doing an amazing job of going back and addressing some issues that they have long been sitting there going, oh, I wish those cliffs didn't look so bad, or oh, I wish the lighting was a little better in this area. So if
Yep.
there is something about which you feel strongly that it doesn't look the way you want it to, that's the kind of feedback you should give to our world builders, saying, hey, fix this in this area. For the Legendary server, when we get there, it'll look much more amazing.
Yes. I'm sure Chris Pearson would love to hear from
Oh, yes.
you.
He's going to be like, what did you tell them? Yes.
Send it to me and I'll pass it on to them.
But the color of the flowers.
But our world builders have been doing an amazing job
Oh,
of,
yeah.
of going back and saying, hey, we now have the tools to make these areas look much more amazing. Let's do it.
Yeah. Exactly right. Cool. When will content beyond Shadows of Angmar become available on the legendary server, Johnny? I'm going to have you declare for all time eternal.
Until it
Yeah.
changes, yeah.
Bring out the rock. Okay, so when are we releasing everything else?
So the current plan is to release new content approximately every 4 months.
Yeah.
So the current plan is approximately every 4 months. Emphasis on current and approximate.
Sure. There you go. Approximately every 4 months. Will legendary weapons be available not at launch? As
No.
we unlock Mines
Yeah.
of Moria, it will.
As soon as Moria and
Yep.
volume, the volume 2 becomes available, then you can get your legendary weapon.
Instances and skirmishes.
So this is exciting and different. We have disabled skirmishes for legendary server launch, and they will become available when Moria is available. Instances, we have gone through and said, hey, does this feel like it fits with the game as it's presented up to level 50, and is it available for level 50 or lower characters? And if so, then you can do it, and if not, you can't. So for example, the Erebor instance cluster, you can play it at level 20 on live worlds. You will not be able to play it when we launch legendary server at level 50 because it doesn't fit with where the story is at that time. However, Halls of Night, you can play at level 40 on live worlds. That will be available on legendary server right away because it's based in the Angmar area. You discover it in Angmar, and even though we built it several years after Shadows of Angmar was released, it fits with that content.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the general scheme of things. And school and library will be available also with the initial legendary server release of Angmar.
What about, say, a European legendary server? No, we're using the same server infrastructure here. Well, we're adding to it, but yeah. Something like that.
They're new servers, and we're not separating them by
Yeah,
region.
Yeah. Will the legendary server have festivals and anniversary events in conjunction with the others?
It will.
Yes.
Yep. You'll still be able to do all your fun festivals, get your fun stuff there.
There may be some restrictions. For example, the anniversary event has some high-level content that it wants you to go visit for the scavenger hunt. We may disable the high-level scavenger hunt because you can't get there. Things of that nature.
What about things like character boosts, XP potions, items? What about character things like Gift of the Valar? How's that all going to work?
So we are not going to let you immediately Valar up on release. We are taking a look at some of the other store items, so experience tomes. We're taking a look at them. Right now the current thought is doing a 200% XP tome on top of your blue XP bar might be too much. So we're going to take a look at that.
Yeah.
We're still in decision. What we don't want people to do is be able to just instantly get through all the content and then sit there and be like, okay, well, no one's here. We also want to avoid the situation where if you joined a little bit late and everyone's ahead of you and there's no way for you to catch up. So that's something that we're trying to figure
Yeah.
out. So happy to hear anything you all have to say about it.
Yeah.
Let me know or post on forums.
So the next question here may end up getting a better answer from Severlin at some point, but I do want to answer exactly what is in the fact. Is the legendary server a, quote, classic server, or is it a, quote, vanilla server? Here's what we're sort of using to describe it. By most descriptions, a classic server is an attempt to recreate LOTRO exactly as it was at launch, using only assets and content available at that time, which in our case is 2007. A legendary server is running alongside existing servers, and therefore contains many of the changes that have been made to the game over the years, like UI improvements, bug fixes, game systems, things like that. In the cases where we've updated or changed the layout of regions, the legendary server uses the updated version of the regions. In cases where we have changed items or player abilities, the legendary server uses those updated abilities. Some content or gameplay that isn't appropriate to that particular level cap may be restricted until that portion of the story unlocks with a level cap increase. So that's a pretty good kind of summation about how we're planning to have this go along. So it is basically being released in conjunction with the other work we're doing on the other worlds,
Yes.
but it has a gated content sort of release schedule. So then why would I want to run it? One might ask. I would say one possibility is we want you to relive the legend with your friends, you know. Yes, someone had said, actually, I believe it was in YouTube chat there, well, why don't I just make a level 1 character and go up to 50 on the live game world? Well, I mean, you can. We would enjoy you doing that. But with the legendary world, you're going to find the gift of community in a way that is going to, I think, really bring this into a dynamic experience that we hope you enjoy. And, yeah. All right, so now that we got the easy questions out of the way...
Oh, no.
There was a forum thread, and I'm basing a lot of these questions on. I can't remember the name of the guy who wrote the forum thread. Sorry. You're awesome. Sorry, missed this thread being started. Here are the questions I think we should try to answer. Will the balance be similar to current live, or how it was at release?
The balance will be similar to current live, and we are tweaking that balance continually as we work on class balance. We also work on monster balance, and we've been working on balance across levels, and we're hoping to get it into a place where everybody's pretty happy with it, but we will probably continue to tweak balance forever.
Continually.
Forever, yes. Yeah.
Yep.
As things change, we have to tweak balance to adjust, and so it will match live in terms of the balance.
Yo, why not the OG traits?
What the who?
The OG
Why?
traits.
Yeah, why are we not doing the original trait system?
Why are we keeping trait trees?
Yes.
Yeah.
It turns out that we cannot go back to the builds that contained those original traits because we can't even run them anymore.
Ooh.
The servers won't run. They won't connect to modern infrastructure. It would be an incredibly difficult undertaking to essentially redesign all of the classes
Right.
to go back to something resembling the original traits.
And then, of course, we
content.
have some things that weren't even around then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's pre-Bjorning and such. So.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
They never had original traits. They'd keep their trait trees, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, so sorry, we know there are some people who are, people have nostalgia for a lot of
Oh, yeah.
these old systems.
I fondly
and so
remember
some
them
folks
myself sometimes, yes.
are like, man, can I please have the OG traits? And it's like, sorry, no.
But at the same time, we continue to accept your feedback on the classes. We're not 100% happy with where the classes are right now. We
Yeah.
want to make it so that the trait trees feel right. And it's a long process to adjust classes over time to make everything the way we actually would want it and the way you would actually want it. And so keep giving us your feedback on, hey, this trait tree doesn't work the way it should.
So, will we have access to all pre-Mines of Moria content like Forakel, Evendim, and all 15 books of the Epic?
You will.
Okay.
All the way up through the
Nice.
epilogue on Volume 1, Book 15.
Awesome. Will the book quests that require fellowships?
So we have instituted these either with inspiration or with alternate quests, like for Weathertop, the ability for a solo player to do their own version of the epic quest. Those remain in place. It will still be much easier and more fun if you do them with a fellowship, but sometimes that's just not practical, and we don't want to take away the ability of people to play the game.
Okay.
What about stables and mounts? How the heck is that going to work? Because remember back in the day, it was like locked behind level 35 and such.
We're
Yeah.
not
We're not locking
doing that.
that.
Okay.
You can still, as a VIP, go and do the quests that unlock for you a mount at Hangstacer Farm at level 30-ish if you want, or you can just do what you do now on
Yeah.
live.
Someone's asking specifically about barrel shards. Will they only be acquired from rare mobs? Will they be required for endgame on the Legendary World crafting?
So the end game crafting at launch on Legendary World will be master tier.
Okay.
And to be honest, I haven't looked at the master tier of crafting in a long time.
No problem.
I know we still have shard droppers. I don't remember what recipes require which shards and how easy they are to obtain.
Sure. Get us the answer, community, when you get the
Yes.
chance. Will we be required to go to the physical entrance of instances, or can we use the instance finder?
You can absolutely use the instance finder. Some instances will require you to find that a physical location at least once. But after that, you can absolutely use instance finder to get in.
Will there be housing in neighborhoods? And
There
how's that going to
will!
work? And it's basically,
Yay! It'll
don't
be,
call it a land rush.
yeah, right? You can pick your house, your neighborhood. It's all wide open. Belfalis will also be available. So
Okay.
all of the housing neighborhoods are available.
And basically, but the one that you have on your non-legendary world, this is a new world. So there is
It's a new world.
No kinship rosters, no homes,
Nope.
any of that are
Everything
there.
is
It's all
completely
fresh.
fresh.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
But all the neighborhoods are available for you. So get to
You gotta
level
get the corner
15
lot,
and
man.
get yourself a house.
Yeah.
Get
Yep.
the corner lot.
Will stats interact with things like power, morale, mastery, mitigation, etc. in the ways they did in the past? Or will the stat contributions be relative to live?
They're relative to live. They're the same as live.
Will we have a virtue cap, and what will it be?
We are currently implementing a virtue cap system so that you can't express a higher level of virtue than is appropriate for your character level. And we don't have the numbers yet because I haven't finished actually
We're still
balancing it
looking at
out to see
Sure.
where it wants to end up.
Coming in November 2018.
Yes.
So it is not today.
It's not today.
Yes, it is not today. You have tons of time to get all this done.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Speaking of which, I'm going to try. We've gone about a half hour here. I want to make sure we leave room for your questions as well. So let me see if we can just tear through a couple more and then turn it over to you. Where will there be stat caps?
So we have stat caps currently on live,
Okay.
and those will continue to be what they are. It means they're the same across all character levels because that's what we have right now. Or if you're talking about stat tomes, those have minimum levels to use, and those don't change.
Yeah. Now, I have a general question saying, will Etten Moors be released? As it relates to PvMP, no, but that region will exist.
You won't
at
be
that-
able to get
no?
into it.
You won't be able to get into it?
Nope.
Okay.
That's part of Monster Play and,
Mm-hmm.
and player versus Monster Play, and therefore you cannot enter,
Okay. Good to know.
at least until we potentially someday in the future.
Right, but currently there's no plans. We do hear you, and we do understand that there is a desire for PvMP on these legendary servers, so
Yep.
we are looking into it. But currently, as it stands right now on release, there will not be PvMP.
So, Johnny, it is
Hey.
now nearing All Hallows Eve, and we are going live in November of 2018. If I want to take part in the legendary server experience, how should I do that?
Well, first you need to be a subscriber
Yep.
or be a lifetime VIP. Thank you for your
So let's
long-standing
go.
support.
Let's just let someone walk through the process. Hey, I'm in. What do I need to do? You need to go to the LOTRO store and subscribe to VIP. You can find out more on LOTRO.com. Any active VIP subscription at the time that we release that content will be able to access the legendary servers for as long as their VIP subscription lasts. If you are a lifetime VIP, you're just in, you know.
Yep.
And so that should be pretty cool. And basically, you can subscribe.
Just wait for us to announce that
Yeah.
the legendary servers are available, and then you'll be able to just log in your normal LOTRO launcher.
Yep.
Or if you want to make sure you've got your kin name and your
Oh yeah, you want to make
characters,
sure you get there early.
and you care about these sorts of things, and it is just, after all, 1 month of VIP. You can do
Yeah.
whatever you want to do. I am not going to tell you what to do. We have also got the Harvest Math Festival, going kind of through. Well, I'll get the exact date for you here, but
I
we're
believe
more
it
than
goes-
halfway
Week.
done here, right?
I believe it
Six.
goes through the 7th.
Yeah,
I-
at least another week or two.
Yeah,
on
at
that.
least through the 6th. I thought it was 3 a.m.
It's
on the
3 a.m.
7th.
on the 7th,
Yeah,
yes.
okay. That sounds good. So through November 6th, so this weekend and next weekend. Any other kind of questions before we wrap up? Well, no, we'll take a few questions from the community here, but anything else before we do that?
No, I'm just
Okay.
looking forward to the questions.
Oh my God, do
Oh
we
my
have
God.
questions?
Oh dear.
Is the music system available on the legendary server?
Absolutely,
Yes.
yes.
Will there be loot boxes?
Yes.
But as on live, you cannot get loot boxes or open them until you're level 30.
Yeah.
Will scaled instances have scaled loot similar to live?
It will, and we are actually looking at the scaled loot that comes out of scaling instances to make sure that it doesn't overpower the loot that you get from the Angmar endgame.
Will the houses in the Bay of Belfalos be available as well?
Yes, yay!
Okay.
I love those
Go get 'em.
houses.
Do you think the raids will be balanced with classes having trait trees? The old Angmar raid. Are we working on
We
kind of
have been
rebalancing that
working on
stuff?
balance.
Yeah.
The people are actually literally sitting there right now on the development team, playtesting Angmar.
I hear Vastin yelling already.
Have
Yes.
we actually looked at the original Challenger title?
Is
On
there one for the
Legendary?
Rift?
Is there?
I didn't think there was one for the Rift.
Someone
We can
says,
take a look.
Ethelod says, will there be an original Challenger for Nurz Gashu?
That is the Rift.
We
I
could take a look at it.
no. We will not have an original Challenger title like we've had in the past. If we introduce a title, it will be the kind that we have now, where it's available for a period of time, and anybody who finishes it during that period of time can get the title. It's not
Alright.
limited to a single kinship or group.
Will we need travel rations again?
No. Although my live character still has a small stack of them hoarded away for posterity. No, you won't need travel
Are you
rations
gonna
again.
sell them on the auction house?
You in fact won't be able to get them on the legendary server because you can't get them in game anymore.
So Tellurian, we are not going to announce our full progression in terms of what goes what, but we are going chronologically here.
Yes.
Yes.
So, yeah,
We're not gonna jump to like Mordor before Riders of Rohan.
yeah.
We could not, in fact.
We'll have to go and discover instance locations. Yes, right?
Yes.
So some of
At
them
least
do
once.
require it, and other ones do not.
All right.
So it depends. You can actually see this on current live right now. Any instance that requires discovery before you can use Instance Finder to enter it will still require a discovery.
Heading over to YouTube, Vico Reecor. I'm late in. How is it going with the 64-bit? We are still working on it. The
We are.
Legendary server
yeah.
will not be a 64-bit client. Humberto, what happens if I unsubscribe? Can I still enter the server? So what happens is on a VIP subscription, if you cancel your subscription, you will still be VIP for the time you have left in your subscription. And after that, you are no longer a VIP subscriber, at which point you would not be able to enter the Legendary server. Will the new Legendary server have a name? Yes.
Yes.
I don't know that we're ready to announce that here.
But soon.
I know what the names are. When somebody tells me I can tell you what they are, I'll tell you.
Turn your back to the camera and whisper it if you want. There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, all right.
All right, sorry, folks. We'll have that for you. Why not fix your live servers? We are doing that as well. We will be continuing to do active development on all the game worlds, despite working on releasing a new section of the Legendary server approximately every 4 months. All right, Facebook, can we have a release date? The best I can do for you today is November 2018. I will
Yes.
say that there is a circle on a calendar somewhere internally, and we hope to hit that date, but at this point, until we lock just the kind of last few steps down, it would not make sense to announce a full release date at this time. So, areas outside level will be blocked. Correct. Will there be essences?
So, on current live worlds, there are very low chances for essences to drop
At this time.
off of
So-
normal mobs, and that continues.
Okay.
But getting those essences is almost impossible, and getting gear to use those essences is almost impossible. So, essentially, for all practical purposes, no.
Okay. Will classes released after Shadow of Angmar have class sets for raids released before then? The itemization for the Angmar raid is not new.
No, but
Yeah.
I think they're suggesting that maybe Bjornings don't have a class
Yeah.
set armor,
Right.
which would be a bug if that is in fact the case, and which we would be looking into right now.
What about featured instances? Are they on there?
So featured instances don't appear until level 100,
Okay.
which means that you will see them when the legendary server gets to level 100.
So what happens to your characters on the Legendary server if your VIP lapses? Similar to what happens on any other game world when you go from VIP to Premium or whatever. We don't delete your characters or anything like that. It just they'll
You just
stay
won't
there.
be able to log in that character.
They will stay there waiting for you to resubscribe with a small tear
They'll be sad.
going down their cheek. What is the goal of this server? Why'd y'all create it? Why did we all create it? We created it really to kind of give people an opportunity to re-experience and relive the legend here with all of our earlier content. You know, we have such a wide and mature player base here that being able to re-experience some of this you know, really historic stuff in LOTRO's development, maybe with the new eyes, you know, new development and things like that even, is really going to be exciting. So hopefully you agree with us, and you will be finding out more about the Legendary world here real soon.
It can be daunting to start a new character on our live worlds where everybody
yeah.
else is 119 levels ahead of you.
Yep.
This gives you the chance to start, and everybody's starting all at once. So it's much easier to find people to play with at your level.
Vico, you have a question about why not the old trade system. We answered that earlier, so if you might want to check out the archive of this video to get the answer to that one. Will the Mordor Collector's Edition cosmetics be available? Like things that are account grants? I think,
If you
right?
already have those account grants, you will continue to get them. And we are not gating any cosmetics. So
You can
when
still
you get
have
onto
your
the
hash
server,
points.
you will have all the cosmetics that you get currently making a new character.
All right, also fix Berg DPS and fix Bjorning DPS.
Yep.
Stop nerfing my stuff.
All right, I think we're going to wrap it up here. I have spent 40 minutes of your precious lunchtime and your precious work time to sit here and talk to us about the Legendary worlds. And frankly, I think we answered a whole bunch of your questions here. So maybe we will have to do this again as we get a little bit closer to it if we need to. But for now, I'm going to let you two go.
It was fun. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much for being here,
everyone.
everybody. And I'm actually going to, I think I'm just going to wrap up the stream a little bit early here. I've got some work to do today. And
And I definitely
not
have
gonna
work to
play
do.
for
Yes.
10 minutes. So LOTRO.com, Legendary, if you want to find out more. And we are excited about it. And we'll be having a whole lot more about it in the near future. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Subscribe to us on YouTube to get the videos in your subscription feed. Like us on Facebook for our videos and other stuff. And follow us on Twitch to be notified when we go live. Shows just like this. We do have shows all week long on LOTRO stream. So if you want to get your LOTRO fix on Twitch, check it out. All right, thanks very much for being here. Hope you all have a great weekend, and I will talk to you again soon.
Happy
Bye,
Friday.
y'all.
Oop.